Have you ever wondered what truly brings down the great? It's not the spectacular, public flameouts we often see. It's something much quieter, much more insidious, a slow poison that works from the inside out. Let's journey back in time to ancient Rome. Imagine a general, hailed as a hero, riding through the streets in a grand triumphal parade. The crowds are roaring, flowers rain down, and he's at the absolute pinnacle of his success. But behind him in the chariot stands a single slave, with a singular, chilling duty. Amidst the deafening cheers, he leans in and whispers into the general's ear, "Memento mori." Remember, you are mortal. This practice wasn't to spoil the party. The Romans, masters of empire and human nature, understood a profound truth. The greatest danger isn't the enemy at the gates, but the enemy within. The enemy called pride. Today, we are diving deep into why this ancient wisdom is more relevant than ever. We are going to explore why pride, not failure, is the ultimate dream killer, the silent saboteur of potential. We often fear failure. We see it as the end of the road, a mark of shame. But what if I told you that failure is actually your greatest teacher, your most honest mentor? And that pride, disguised as confidence and success, is the real trap? Think about it. Failure is an event. It's a data point. It tells you, this approach didn't work. It's external, objective, and if you let it, incredibly instructive. Pride, on the other hand, is an internal state. It's a distortion field that warps your perception of reality. It whispers sweet lies into your ear. You're infallible. You know best. You don't need to listen, learn, or adapt. It builds a beautiful, glittering cage around you, decorated with past achievements, but locks the door to future growth. While failure forces you to confront reality, pride encourages you to ignore it. Let's consider the story of Napoleon Bonaparte. A military genius, he rose from obscurity to conquer most of Europe. His confidence was legendary, his ambition limitless. At the height of his power, he believed he was untouchable. His pride led him to make one of the most catastrophic military decisions in history, the invasion of Russia in 1812. His advisors warned him. The logistics were a nightmare, the Russian winter unforgiving. But Napoleon, blinded by his own string of victories, couldn't fathom defeat. He dismissed the warnings. He believed his genius alone would be enough. He marched his Grande Army of over 600,000 men into Russia. This isn't just ancient history. We see this pattern play out constantly, in business, in sports, in our own lives. Think of Kodak. They invented the first digital camera in 1975. They had the future in their hands, but they were the kings of film photography. Their pride in their existing business model made them complacent. They couldn't imagine a world without film. They saw digital as a cute toy, not a revolution. They failed to adapt not because they lacked the technology, but because their pride blinded them to the monumental shift happening right under their noses. By the time they took digital seriously, it was too late. They filed for bankruptcy in 2012. Their failure wasn't inventing the digital camera. Their failure was being too proud of their old success to embrace the new one. Now, let's contrast this with the power of failure. J.K. Rowling, before she gave us the magical world of Harry Potter, was by her own account the biggest failure she knew. Her marriage had failed. She was jobless, a single parent, living on state benefits. She was rejected by 12 different publishers. 12. Imagine the temptation to give up. But each rejection, each failure, wasn't an endpoint. It was fuel. It stripped away the non-essential. It forced her to focus on the one thing that truly mattered, the story she had to tell. Failure taught her perseverance. It tested her resolve. It didn't make her proud. It made her humble and hungry. Her success wasn't built in spite of her failures, but because of them. From a psychological perspective, pride and failure trigger very different responses in our brains. Pride activates our ego defense mechanisms. When we are proud and someone offers criticism, we don't hear feedback, we hear an attack. Our brain goes into lockdown to protect our self-image. We become defensive, closed off, and unwilling to learn. The psychologist Carol Dweck calls this a fixed mindset, the belief that our abilities are static. Pride loves a fixed mindset because it confirms we are already great and don't need to change. Failure, however, can be the catalyst for what Dweck calls a growth mindset. When we fail, it's a direct challenge to our current abilities. We have two choices. We can let pride tell us we are just not good enough, or we can see it as an opportunity to get better. The growth mindset embraces challenges and sees failure not as evidence of unintelligence but as a springboard for growth. It says, "I'm not there yet." This simple shift in perspective is everything. It transforms a dead end into a learning curve. Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, famously said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times, I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." He didn't let pride stop him from taking the next shot. He let failure teach him how to make it. So how do we cultivate this resilience to pride and embrace the lessons of failure? It starts with humility. Remember the Roman general. We need to have that voice in our own head, constantly reminding us, memento mori. Remember you are fallible. Remember there is always more to learn. Actively seek out dissenting opinions. Surround yourself with people who aren't afraid to challenge you, who will tell you the truth, not just what you want to hear. When you succeed, celebrate it, but analyze it. Ask why it worked. Was it skill or was it luck? What could you have done better? This practice keeps your ego in check and your mind open. And when you fail, and you will, don't run from it. Don't hide it. Don't let shame or pride convince you it's the end. Instead, run towards it. Dissect it. Perform an autopsy on your failure. What went wrong? What was the flawed assumption? What did I learn about myself, about my strategy, about the world? Failure is the tuition you pay for success. The only real failure is the one from which you learn nothing. Pride guarantees you learn nothing. It tells you the fault lies with everyone and everything but yourself. In the end, the path to extraordinary achievement isn't a straight line upwards. It's a messy, winding road filled with potholes and detours called failure. Failure is the price of admission for playing a big game. Pride is the exit ramp that takes you out of the game entirely, often while convincing you that you've already won. So, the next time you're faced with a choice, the next time you feel the sting of failure or the warm glow of success, ask yourself, am I being like Napoleon, so blinded by my own light that I can't see the cliff's edge? Or am I being like Michael Jordan, using every miss as a lesson on how to hit the next game winner? Choose to be a student, not a master. Choose to learn from your falls, not just admire your view from the top. Because pride will tell you you've arrived, but humility will keep you moving forward. And moving forward is the only way to truly grow. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges you to think differently. Let me know in the comments about a time when failure taught you a valuable lesson. I'd love to read your stories. Until next time, stay humble and keep learning.